Hello everyone and welcome to the video tutorial on cryptography and network security. So in this class we are going to study about analog of Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. So the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm we have already studied. So where we will exchange the public key between the sender as well as receiver to generate a private key or secret key. So when sender and receiver will generate a private key, so that key we will compare it. If both the keys are same, then we will call it as keys are exchanged. So we have already discussed about this Diffie-Hellman algorithm in the previous classes. Okay. Now let us see how this Diffie-Hellman algorithm is used in elliptical curve cryptography. So in the elliptical curve cryptography also, we are using the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm to exchange the secret keys. So here, exchange is nothing but what we will do here. We will exchange the public keys between sender and receiver, and then we will calculate the secret key. If both the secret key, that means if the sender's secret key and receiver secret key both are same, then we will call it as keys are exchanged. So this concept we have already studied. Let us see what is the analog form of this Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm which we are using in elliptical curve cryptography. So first step is we have to select a large integer that we can call it as q. Okay, so this q may be a prime number or it may be the integer of the form 2 to the power m. So we know that elliptical curve cryptography, we can generate it in the form of either prime numbers, or we can calculate it by using prime numbers, or also we can calculate it by using gf, which is a function of the power 2 to the power m, which is of the form 2 to the power of m. So here we are taking a large integer q, which may be a prime number or which may be of the form like gf, that is 2 to the power m. Next, select a, b parameters. Okay, so we have to select two parameters, that is a and b. How to select this parameter? Already we have seen. We have a formula by the like g equal to 8a cube plus 27b square. It should not be equal to 0. So by using this formula, we have to calculate whether, or we have to calculate a and b value, or we have to check whether that a and b value are correct or wrong. So I'll show you that formula too. Sorry, this is 4a cube and plus 27b square should not be equal to 0. So you need to select a value of a and b in such a way that this equation is satisfied. Okay, so this equation is satisfied. That is 4a cube plus 27b square. Okay, so like that we have to select the value of b. So it should satisfy this condition. 4a cube plus 27b square, it should not be equal to 0. You need to select a and b value in such a way that it should not be equal to 0. So now, so this is a formula of elliptical curve, or this is an elliptical group EQ of a comma b, where q may be the prime number or it may be the integer of the form 2 to the power m. Then a and b are the two parameters. Okay, by using that we can form, or we call it as elliptical group. So what is the formula to calculate the ellipse or to draw the ellipse or elliptical curve by using a and b? So we have the formula called as cubic equation, or we can also call it as Weierstrass equation. Okay, so y square equal to x cube plus ax square plus b. So by using this equation, we can draw the elliptical curve like this, which is symmetric about y equal to 0, or we can also call it as it is symmetric about x-axis. Okay, so we'll get up 2 points here. One is positive point, one is negative point, exactly symmetric to each other. One point we can call it as p, x comma y. Another point we can call it as negative of p, that is minus p, which is having a point x comma minus y. Already we have studied these things in the previous classes. Okay. Now let us select a base point g x1 comma y1. We need to select one more point on the elliptical curve where we can call it as g, which is having the value called as x1 comma y1. So x-axis value is x1, y-axis value is y1. Now, and then we need to find out ng, that is equal to 0. What is n here? N is nothing but any large value we can consider, any large value. So n is nothing but any large value. Okay, next. So now we'll see how we will exchange the keys. So this is a sender. So I'll write here sender. So sender we are calling it as A, and this will be the receiver. So receiver I'm calling it as B. Now, first we need to select an integer NA which is less than n. What is n here? N is a large value. Already we have selected a large value, that is called as n. So we have to select NA in such a way that it should be less than n. What is NA? NA is actually nothing but the private key of the sender. Similarly, at the receiver side also, we need to select NB which is less than n, where NB is nothing but the private key of the receiver B. So after selecting the private keys, we need to compute the public key of sender as well as the public key of receiver by using this formula, PA equal to NA into G. So you can see here, this PA is nothing but public key of A. We can calculate the public key of A by using private key of A plus the point which we have considered on the ellipse, that is G. So G is the point which we have considered on the ellipse. Okay. So similarly, the public key of B is calculated by using formula NB into G, where NB is nothing but the private key of B. Private key of B. So what we are actually doing here, we are selecting private key. We are selecting private key of both sender and receiver. Then we are calculating. Public key of both sender and receiver. Okay. So select the private key of sender and receiver. Then calculate the public key of sender and receiver. That we have done here. Okay. Next step is secret key generation. So what happens in the secret key generation is we will share the public key. That means public key is shared between the sender and receiver. As you know that public key is shareable, so anybody can take the public key. So what we will do is we will share the public key of B to A and public key of A to B to calculate the secret key. So now how the secret key is calculated? Secret key is calculated by using formula KA. This is nothing but secret key of A. NA into PB. You can see here NA into PB. What is PB here? PB is nothing but the public key of B. So public key of B is shared here to A. Then by using the public key of B, it is calculating the secret key. Okay. So similarly, the same thing is happening here. You can see the KV equal to NB into PA, where PA is nothing but the public key of A. So public key of A is shared between, shared to B, and then this B has been calculated. KV is calculated by B. Then we need to check what is the value of K and KV. If both are same, then we will call it as key exchanged. If both are same, we will call it as key exchanged. Okay. Otherwise, we will call it as key is not exchanged. So we need to check the value of KA and KB. If both are same, we will call it as key exchange. Okay. So I hope this point is clear to all of you. So what we have done already we have seen. So you can see here, this is the elliptical curve where Q is nothing but the prime number, A and B are the two parameters. Okay. So Q may take the prime number, or you may take it as a form of 2 to the power m. It is an integer of the form 2 to the power m. This we are calling it as GF. Already we have studied general function. Okay. Next. So first step, at the user A or at the sender A, I can call. What we need to do? We need to select the private key. and calculate the public key So same thing at the user B also. So this step is called as key generation. So what we are doing? So for user A also we are generating a key, two keys, that is private key and public key. And for user B also we are calculating, or we are generating two keys. One is private key, another one is public key. So how it is? We already know that we need to select a private key and then calculate the public key by using this formula. So similarly also here in the B, so same thing is applied. Now after that what we will do? We will share the public keys, sharing of public keys, right? So after the sharing of public keys, we will calculate the secret keys. So secret key is being calculated between user A and user B. So if both are same, then we call it as key exchanged. Okay. So this is the overall prospectus of the Diffie-Hellman algorithm. So let us see how the encryption and decryption takes place by using elliptical curve cryptography. How the encryption takes place in the elliptical curve cryptography, and similarly we will see the decryption part also. So as you can see here, a user A selects a random integer k. This is the first step. So user A selects a random integer k, and then he will calculate the ciphertext. So how to calculate ciphertext? Ciphertext is a pair of two values. One is this one kg, another one is pm plus kpb. So one is kg, another one is pm plus kpb. So you know that what is k? K is the random number which we have taken here. You can see here. It is a random integer. Then g is nothing but it's a point on the ellipse. Or elliptical curve, which we have taken already. Okay, G. You can see here G. So we have taken it already. It is a point of the elliptical curve. Next, PM is nothing but plain text, or we can also call it as a message, plain message. Okay. So here in the elliptical curve cryptography, so this PM is nothing but it is not like a word format. Like if we want to send a message like hello, good morning, it is not in the word format, or it is not in a sentence format. The plain text message in elliptical curve algorithm is always a point on the ellipse. So a point is nothing but it is having x coordinate as well as y coordinate. Okay. So please remember, in the elliptical curve cryptography, we will not take any sentences as a plain text. We will take a point on the elliptical curve that we can call it as a plain text. This point you need to remember. And then this plain text is added with k, that is a random integer, and then pb. What is pb? You already know what is pb here. So pb is nothing but the public key of b. So because this encryption is taking place at the sender side. Sender. What is the sender name? A. So A is doing encryption. So what A wants? A wants the public key of B, where B is the receiver. Got it? Right? So B is the receiver. So what A will do? A will take the value, take the public key value, and then it will calculate this part. So this pair together, we are calling it as a ciphertext. This pair together, we are calling it as a ciphertext. So this happens at sender side. So now let us come to the receiver side where the decryption takes place. So what receiver will do? So receiver, first it will receive this value from the sender. So ciphertext will be received here. Then what it will do? You can see here. First, multiply the first point in the pair of CM by B's secret key. Okay, so multiply the first point in the pair of CM. What is the first point in the pair of CM? This is CM here. The first point is this one, that is kg. So this kg, I need to multiply it with B's secret key. What is B's secret key? It is NB. NB is the least secret. So this is the first step. Okay. So this part kg I need to multiply with NB. Next, second step, subtract it from second part. Okay, subtract it from second point or second part. So what is the second part? This is the second part, PM plus KPB. We need to subtract this part, this kg into NB, kg into NB in this second part. So the formula becomes like this: PM plus KPB minus kg into NB. Okay, so it becomes like this: PM plus KPB minus kg into NB. So these are the steps we need to follow. So how we will get the plain text from this? You can see there. So what we are doing here? So first we are multiplying the private key of B to the first point here, that is kg, and in the second step what we are doing, we are subtracting this in the second equation, that is, the second equation is this one, or second point is this one. We are subtracting this first one here, that is NB into kg. So it becomes like this: PM plus K. What do you mean by PB? So in the previous step we know what is PB here. So PB is nothing but NB into G. Okay, so PB is nothing but NB into G. So we will write it as NB into G minus NB into kg. NB into kg. So now it becomes like this: PM plus NB kg minus, here also it is NB kg. So this plus and minus get cancelled. What we got? We got again PM. What is PM? That is nothing but our plain text. Plain text. I hope this is clear. We are again retrieving the plain text in the description, in the decryption part. Okay, so this is how the plain text is calculated by using the ciphertext. So this is the method that we are following in the elliptical curve cryptography. Okay, so you can see here. So same thing, whatever I have just now said, it is in the format. You can see. So first we need to calculate the public keys. By first select the private key, generate the public key. So PA is the public key of A, PB is the public key of B. NA is the private key of A. By using private key of A, multiply it with G, then we got PA. So similarly, NB is nothing but private key of B, multiply it with G, we got PB. So PA and PB are public keys, NA and B are private keys. And then the same formula which we have just gone through in the previous algorithm here, 2 steps. So you can see here PB we can write it as NB into G. Just now we have calculated this plus and minus got cancelled, and we retrieve the plain text. Right. So this is about the encryption and decryption process of the elliptical curve cryptography. So why this elliptical curve cryptography is so much important? I mean, we are giving so much importance rather than our RSA and DSA algorithm. The reason is simple, and you can see this table, you will get the reason here. See. So you can see here, if n is 112, that means if the processing, if you want the security level 1, that means low security, ECC takes just 112 bits, but RSA is taking 512 bits for calculation. Next, if you want to increase the security, if you want to go to the medium level security, here ECC is taking 256, but you can see the bits which are taking in which this algorithm is taking, RSA and DSA algorithm, which is 3072. So you can see the difference for the same level of security. Consider this is security level 2. For the same level of security, this ECC, that is elliptical curve cryptography, is taking 256 bits, but this one RSA and DSA is taking 3072 bits, which is much more for the calculation. So if the calculation becomes, or if the time consumption becomes more for the calculation, then the algorithm efficiency will be decreased. Then look at this difference, third one. So if we want more security, or if you want higher level of security, then ECC is taking just 5 12 bits. But look at the RSA and DSA. It's taking 15,360 bits. Means it will take more time for the calculation. Then it becomes the processor overhead. So processor becomes overhead. So there is much more load on the processor. So the algorithm becomes very slow compared to elliptical curve algorithm, which is very faster. So that's why the scientists moved from the RSA DSA algorithm to ECC algorithm for encryption and decryption. Hope these things are clear to all of you. So the same thing is here. What happens in the elliptical curve algorithm? Okay, this ciphertext which we have just now discussed. So it is repeated slide. You can please go through this slides carefully. Okay. Right. So let us go with one of the example on this elliptical curve cryptography. So you can see here. So this is the input for the elliptical curve cryptography. So where EP of A comma B, and take a positive integer, that is K. K is nothing but here it may be the prime number, or it may be the integer of the form 2 to the power m. Okay. Then as I said, PM is nothing but plain text point. Okay. Here in elliptical curve algorithm, we will not take a message, text kind of message. We will take a point on the ellipse. And one more is G point, which is a point on elliptical curve, and as well as we require PB, which is nothing but the public key of user B. Public key of user B. So by using all this input, we will calculate the ciphertext. Okay. So this happens in sender part. Then, so what receiver will do? Receiver will receive the ciphertext, the pair of value which is generated in the ciphertext, and then it will calculate and it will finally give us the plain text. Okay, finally gives us the plain text. So what happens at the receiver? So first part in the ciphertext is like this. It is kg, comma, it is having pair of values. First one is kg, second one is pm plus kpb, right? So what is the first step in the decryption part? In the first step, what we will do? We will multiply the private key of B to the first part. So it becomes kg into nb. Then in the second step, we will subtract this pm plus kb with this value. So it becomes pm plus kpb minus nb into kg. We know that pb, how to calculate pb? So it is pm plus k. pb is nothing but the formula is nb into g. So this becomes like this. So this two are same. So this and this get cancelled and we got the pm. So same thing is applied. You can see same thing is happening. Okay. So let us go with one of the example to find or to calculate the ciphertext as well as to get back the plain text. The problem is like this. Find the curve E of 11, 1, 6. So this 11 is nothing but a prime number. 1, 6 is nothing but the values A and B values. Okay. Then G point is given. A random integer given. K is also given. Then B, that is nothing but private key of B, is also given. Then plain text point is also given. So we need to perform encryption and decryption operation using ECC. Okay. So we have to follow the steps. So what first thing we need to do? First thing we need to generate a ciphertext, and this is a formula of ciphertext. So first here we need to compute kg. So how to compute kg? We already have k value, we have g value, g point value. So we need to calculate kg by using our formula. So what formulas are, which formula we need to apply here? So you can see by this equation, so E11 is given, E11 1,6. This 11 is nothing but a prime number. So we need to apply the formulas of elliptical curve over prime numbers. This one, elliptical curve over prime numbers. Already we have studied. Yeah, this one. ZP is the prime number. So it is of the form this one. So we need to apply these all formulas to calculate the XR and YR point. So what is the first point we need to calculate? We need to calculate lambda value. So how to calculate lambda value? Use this formula. If P is not equal to Q, use this formula. If P equal to Q, use this formula. Okay. So all these formulas you should know first. Then only we can calculate it in a better way or in a faster way, I can say. So let us come to our program. Yes. So here K is given to us. So G point is also given. So that is 2, 7. So what is XP now? XP becomes 2, 7. XP, YP becomes 2, 7. And we are taking the same point for the calculation. So XQ, YQ becomes the same also. So here P is equal to Q. Okay. So XP, YP is also 2, 7. XQ, YQ also 2, 7. So that means P equal to Q. So which formula we need to apply? So let us check which formula is applicable here. So you can see here elliptical curve over, elliptical curve over this one, ZP, that is prime number. So when P equal to Q, if P equal to Q, we need to apply this formula, that is 3XP whole square plus A divided by 2YP mod P. So this formula is applied. So we got all the values, XP, YP value, all the values are there. So now we will apply this and we will calculate it by using this formula. Lambda is calculated. So you can see here lambda is calculated here. So how to do this 13 by 14 mod 11? So 13 by 14 mod 11, how to calculate this? So first you take this part 1 by 14, take it as 1 by 14 mod 11. So that is nothing but 14 inverse mod 11. 14 inverse mod 11. So how to calculate 14 inverse mod 11? We know that it is 14 into x mod 11 is equal to mod 11 is equal to 1. So 14x into mod 11 is equal to 1. So check the value of x. So I think the x value that we get is 4, because 14 fours are, I think is 54. Sorry, 54, 56. Okay, 14 fours are 50. 14 fours are 56. 56 mod 11 is equal to 1. That means x value is 4. So this 1 by 14 mod 11, its value is 4, and 13 mod 11, its value is 2. Okay, so it becomes 4 into 2 mod 11. So you can see 4 into 2 mod 11, that is 8 mod 11, and we get 8. So similarly, now after getting the lambda value, we can find out XR and YR by using the formulas. So what is the formula here? Already you know the formula, which I have already mentioned in the class. So XR and YR formula for prime number is this one. So use this formula and calculate the XR and YR value. So XR and YR value is already calculated here by using the same formula. Okay. So now we got what we got? We got kg. So kg is equal to 5, 2. So this part we have calculated. Now we need to calculate the second part, that is Pm plus kv. So how to calculate Pm plus kv? So we know Pm value is given already. So that is 5, 9. So take it as xp equal to 5, yp equal to 9. And then, so B is nothing but the receiver. Okay, receiver side. So on the receiver side, just okay. So we got a value 7, 9. Q is 7, yq is 9. Okay, so 7, 9. We got that the second value here. So k into PB. So k is 2 here. So k into PB. So PB value we need to calculate actually. right? Okay. So this xq is 7, yq is 9. So now you can see here xp yp xq yq. So it is 5,9 and 7,9, both are different. Okay, so then what we need to apply? We need to apply another formula of lambda when p is not equal to q. So previously we applied when p equal to q formula. Now we need to apply when p equal to p not equal to q. So the lambda formula we need to apply and we need to calculate the lambda. And we got the lambda value as 0. So now find out xr and yr points. Okay, so xr is this one, yr is this one. So it becomes 10, 2. So pm plus this kpb, it becomes 10, 2. So previous value we got is 5, 2. Now we got 10, 1. So these two values are we got, and this is nothing but our ciphertext here. Hope this is clear to all. Right? So, next. So we need to calculate. So this is for ciphertext. Then we have to go for decryption part. Encryption part is over. Then let us go for decryption part. And in the decryption part, what we need to do? So we have two steps here. In the first step, we have to multiply for the first part. For the kg, we need to multiply NB, that is the private key of B. And then this is subtracted in the second part. This value is subtracted in the second part to get the plain text. So let us see that. Just a minute, I'll open that particular slide. You can see here. Yeah. So this one is calculated here now. So in the decryption part, you can see here. So we need to calculate PM plus KPP minus NB into kg. So first we will calculate NB into kg. So we know that NB value is 3, which is given, and kg value we have calculated as 3, 1. So it becomes 3 into 5, 2. So that is nothing but we can write it as 3 into 5, 2. We can write it as 2 into 5, 2 plus 5, 2 into 5, 2 plus 5, because it becomes 3 into 5, 2. So we can split it as 2 into 5, 2 plus 5, 1. So now let us calculate this first part, that is 2 into 5, 1. So how to calculate 2 into 5, 2 is nothing but 2 times you need to calculate this one, 5, 2, 5, 1. So that means xp yq becomes 5, 2, xq yq is also 5, 2. Hope this is clear. 2 times 5, 2 is nothing but I can write 5, 2, 5, 1. So both are same here. P is equal to q. So now calculate the lambda value. So lambda value when p equal to q. Okay. So calculate the lambda value. It is 8. Okay. And then calculate xr and yr. So we got the value 10, 2. xr value is 10, yr value is 2. Okay. So similarly, we have to calculate 3 into 5, 1. Okay. So 3 into 5, 2 is nothing but 2, 5, 2 plus 1, 5, 1. So this 2 into 5, 2 we already calculated and we got it as 10, 2. So we'll take it as 10, 2 is nothing but this is xp, this is yp, and this 5, 2 becomes xq, yq. So now p is not equal to q. Apply the formula, lambda formula, when p is not equal to q. So we applied that formula and we also applied xr and yr and we got the value 7,9. Okay, 7,9. So what we have calculated? We have calculated NB into kg we have calculated. So NB into kg, what we got? We got it as 7,9. Okay, next. So you can see here the same value we have, the same value NB into kg value we have used it in the previous value. We are used it in the TB value. Okay, same value. Next, we need to compute this one, PM plus KPB. Okay, so because NB into kg is already calculated, just we need to calculate PM plus KPB. So what is Pm plus KPB, it is nothing but 10 comma 2. We already calculated this 10 comma 2. Pm plus KPB we have calculated. Okay. So now minus of NB into kg. This we need to subtract. Okay. We have already calculated NB into kg, that is 7 comma 9. So minus 7 comma 9. So this is like minus P. Okay. Minus P means what's the value? Minus P is nothing but it is 7 comma minus 9, because in minus P what will be there? It is x comma minus y, right? So x comma minus y is nothing but x, we need to keep it as it is. Then 9 becomes minus 9. 9 becomes minus 9. Okay. Hope this is clear to all of you. Now minus 9 in the inverse format here, because mod 11 is there, right? Because this is this using prime number, modulus will be there. So minus, we can't write it like minus 11. So minus 9 mod 11, it becomes 2. So we will write it as 2. So this is 7 comma 7 mod 11. This is 7 minus 9 mod 11. This is, so please remember this point. This minus 9 we can't write it directly. Minus 9 mod 11 will be there. Please remember, because this is by using prime number. Whenever we are using prime number, mod 11 will be there. For this also mod 11 is there. But this mod 11, 10 mod 11 is 10 only, 2 mod 11 is 2 only. Hence we have not calculated here. But here we have calculated it because we got here minus 9. So it becomes minus 9 mod 11, that is nothing but 2. Don't get confused here. Okay. Now, so we got 2 points here. One is xpyp, another one is xqyp. So xpyp is 10 comma 2 and xqyp is 7 comma 2. So again P and Q both are different. So apply the lambda value. Apply the lambda formula when P is not equal to Q. So we got 0, lambda value as 0. Then calculate XR and YR. Okay, XR and YR calculated, and we got 5 comma 9, which is the same value which we have calculated. 5 comma 9 is the same plain text. You can see here. So you can see here the same plain text which we have already got. This 10 comma 2 is nothing but Pm plus KPB, which we have used previously. Okay, in the form. Hope this point is clear to all of you. This solution is clear. Okay. So let us see the security in the elliptical curve cryptography. So in the elliptical curve cryptography, we have seen that we have P determine the K value given K into P and P. So P value is given to us and KP value is given to us. By taking this KP and P value, we need to calculate P. So this task is very difficult. Calculating K from KP and P, this task is very difficult. So hence this problem, this elliptical curve algorithm is referred as, it is a problem of logarithm. It is a problem of logarithmic curve. We can call it as logarithmic curve also. And we also know that this is the fastest technique. Okay, where we already have seen the table. Means for low security, the RS is taking much time, but this ECC is taking very small bits. So you can see here, you can see this values. So this is RS algorithm and this is the ECC algorithm for the same level of security. If RSA is taking 1024 bits, but our ECC algorithm is taking 162 to 223 bits. For the second level of security is taking this many bits, here it is taking this many bits. You can see it is increasing. But here in the elliptical curve, only some smaller amount of size is increased. Okay, so this indicates that the computational advantage is more towards ECC than RSA, because this RSA is taking more number of bits. That means it is a overhead on the processor. Computation becomes overhead. Okay, but here the computation is very less, which is the advantage of the ECC algorithm. So this is nothing but the security of the elliptical. Right. So let us go with the
one more topic here, that is called as PRNG. So PRNG is nothing but pseudo random number generation. Pseudo random number generation. Okay, what is pseudo random number generation? So here we are taking some random values in all the algorithms if we have seen in the RSA algorithm, in the Diffie-Hellman algorithm, just now in the ECC algorithm also we are selecting some random numbers like k equal to 2 or k equal to 5. Randomly we are selecting. So now how to generate this value? That is called as PRNG. It is the process. Pseudo random number generation. In most of the algorithm we are taking, like we are having the step like consider a random number r, consider a random number k, like this, and we blindly select some numbers, right? So where this helps us to select a random number. PRNG, this method helps us to select a random number. Okay, we can see what is PRNG and everything here. Right. So we can see here PRNG based on RSA for a sufficient key length. The RSA algorithm is considered secured and it is a good candidate to form the basis of PRNG. Because here the RSA algorithm we are using, or we calculate the length of key, we are taking it randomly. So we are taking this RSA algorithm for the example of as the basis of PRNG, that is pseudo random number generation. The PRNG illustrated in the figure 10.8. So I will show you the figure. This one. This is the PRNG generator. This one is the PRNG generator. It is called as PRNG generator. So very important. Please have a look on this diagram. Right. As can be seen, this PRNG has much the same structure as the output feedback, that is OFD mode, used as a PRNG. What is OFD? OFD is nothing but this. You can see here the output of the first encrypted is given the input to the second encrypted box. The output of second encrypted box is given to the input, given as the input to third encryption box. Like this it goes on. So this method is called as OFD. This method is called as OFD, that is output feedback. Okay, so output is given as an input to the next one, that is output feedback. Hope this is clear. Next, in this case, the encryption algorithm is a RSA rather than symmetric block cipher. We are using RSA algorithm rather than symmetric block cipher. Also, the portion of output is feed back to the next iteration of the encryption algorithm, and the remainder of the output is used as pseudo random bits. Remainder of that output we are using it as pseudo random bits. You can see here. So we are giving this input an ERK value along with the seed value. Okay, then encryption happens here. You can see this reminder we are taking it as the pseudo random number, and the next value we are sending, this output value we are sending it as an input to second box. Again, second input box also will encrypt the message. Again we will get the reminder, and the output value will be set to the next box for the encryption. Again here also we will generate a reminder. Again the output is given to the next box, and it goes like this. So what we will take here, we will take these values, this reminder values. This shows us our random number. The reminder value which we got from this one will give us the pseudo random number. Okay. The motivation for this separation of output into two distinct parts is so that the pseudo random number bits from stage 1 do not provide the input to the next stage. This separation should contribute to forward and predictability. So what we are doing here? Separating the output into two distinct parts so that pseudo random number bits from one stage do not provide input to another stage. You can see here the pseudo random number, we are not giving it as input to the next one. You can see pseudo random number is separated from the output. So this is the output, this is the pseudo random number. So output pseudo random number. So you can see here there is a clear separation of pseudo random number from the output. This output we are giving it as input next number, but we are not giving the pseudo random number. Okay, and this pseudo random numbers we are considering. We are considering this pseudo random number. I hope this part is clear to all of you. So you can see here what is the setup, what is seed, what to generate, what is the output of this. Everything is given here. Just have a look at this. So this setup is nothing but this is the setup for RSA algorithm. Already we have studied RSA algorithm. Okay, so this is the setup or this is the steps. We can say the steps of RSA algorithm. So what is the seed here? We need to select a random seed, that is x0 of bit length r. Okay, that is called as seed. And what to generate here? We need to generate a sequence of few pseudo random numbers. That is our main point. We need to generate a sequence of pseudo random numbers. What is the length of that pseudo random number? It is k into m. K into m. So how to generate? Follow these steps. So what steps we need to follow? The output of the first, we have to give it as input for the second. So we got two outputs here. One is the reminder, which is called as pseudo random number. Another one is the output, which we are giving it as input to the next number. So like this it goes on. Then we got the sequence here, that is Z1, Z2, Z3, that is nothing but our pseudo random number. Okay, this is the sequence of the pseudo number. So this is very important, guys, pseudo random number generation for RSA. So please have a look on this. Okay, in exam also it is very important. You can just see this. So here NERK, which we have selected here. N is nothing but P into Q. You already know this. R is chosen random number. So E, the value which we have taken between 1 to pi comma n. Between 1 and pi comma n, we can select any value, or we can say it as GCD of E comma pi of n will be equal to 1. We have already studied this in our RSA algorithm. So same E is there and K is the random bit. So all these things we have discussed. Just have a look on this one. This one is very important. Hope everything is clear here. So in the next class we will continue with the next topics. Thank you.